Welcome once again, you lucky people, to Boomer Bongo Boulevard. I'm Mike, just Mike. My brother Ron, just Ron, is sitting in the other screen here. I can see him. You can too. And we're winking and stuff like that. And don't forget to subscribe. We have 57 subscribers. We know them all personally, practically. And we want a few that don't know us personally because it just makes us feel better to be a little more anonymous. So, subscribe, hit the like button. I think, hey, Ron, if we just get one new subscriber a week in what, couple thousand years, we'll have a good number.
Hey, we might actually make $1 or two, man. We might actually be able to,
Oh, no.
I don't know, buy a 6-pack of drinks or something. I don't know.
Buy a pack of cigarettes. See, I'm going to start smoking here in a couple more years because I figure it takes it 20 years to kill you anyway, and I'm going to be ready to go in about 20. And I need something to do. I need a way to pass the time, and it looks cool. I don't care.
I did that for years. It ain't all it's cracked up to be. So
it does look cool.
But by all means, go ahead.
Yeah. Burns holes in your clothes. Got to cough for half an hour every
Now,
morning.
only if you're like real accident prone. I never really burned any holes in clothes, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, if anybody could do it, I could. Hey, we're going to talk about. We talked about college days and a lot of other things, but both of us agreed we wanted to talk a little bit just about schooling in general, kind of K through 12 stuff, and what we thought about it, the boomer angle on it, and the almost boomer angle on it, and how schools have changed. And I don't know, Ron. I'll tell you what.
You'll probably have to help me on the schools of change because I don't know as much as you do, because I've been away from it a lot longer.
Well, I was just saying, school, looking over it. I mean, there are a lot of things that we did when we were kids, when we were in school, that they don't do now, or at least a few things. But
using computers, that's the big thing.
Yeah, I guess. But school overall, the way it looks and the way it's run, and the way it's done, it looks pretty much the same as it did back in 1970s and 1960s when I was in school. And I mean, you still got classrooms.
I know they still use the fat colors and stuff in the first and second grade.
Yeah. At least some places. I think some places do, some places don't.
Which I never liked because I was kind of advanced for my age at that time. But
manipulative skills were way better,
and
probably still are. But we the classrooms, you still got a teacher usually up at the front. Got a little more equipment. They've got they don't even have overhead projectors anymore. That just kind of what came and
that went away. That in the mimeograph that with the nice, wonderful, intoxicating odor.
We missed that.
Went away a long time ago.
We missed that. We really do. We missed it.
Straight up pronounced.
The
one original and then a bunch of copies.
But it's really it's amazing that it has stayed as much the same as it has. I mean, you still got the parking lot out front, and teachers have most places have reserved parking places, or a teacher parking lot, or a teacher parking row. And
I don't think they teach cursive anymore, though.
Well, they got away from it, and then they came back to it, because the weird thing about learning cursive isn't so much that you learn cursive, but that you learn to read cursive. And they quickly discovered they were producing a lot of students who were 19, 20 years old who couldn't read cursive writing. So if somebody older or somebody who just had learned cursive on their own writes them a note, they couldn't read it. And that's hard for me to imagine.
I didn't think about that. That's good.
But plus it's just printing's slow. It's cursive slow too, but printing is real slow. And a lot of students were developing their own shorthand, which a good note taker is going to develop their own shorthand anyway. I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it. You got to be kind of stupid to be on the Shakespeare chapter, or you're doing Shakespeare in English class, and the teacher's up there giving you a few notes about Shakespeare, and you've got to be sort of stupid, sort of dim if you're writing out Shakespeare every time. How about just a big old capital S? That's Shakespeare. And you're comparing Shakespeare to some other writer. just a couple of initials. Most good students, most people that are analytical, figure that out, and so the cursive stuff isn't so much for note taking and all. It's just, I think it's just one of those things that's just plain old good for you. It's just plain old good for you to learn to be polite.
I had to start writing in print when I figured out when I was in college for taking notes, because I was writing so fast in cursive. I was going back and I couldn't read my own writing. It was so bad.
Yeah, that's
too fast, and it was just a bunch of chicken scratch. And I went, well, damn, I'm gonna have to write in print. But I figured out I could write in print almost as fast anyway, so it didn't matter. But I could definitely read it.
Most I think most notes now are done.
Important with notes.
I think most notes now, the teacher's done them on a Word, or the professor's done them on a word processor, and they'll send them out. They have a site where they print them out. Anyway.
Yeah.
And but I still need to write to learn better and to learn good.
Yeah.
I have to write to learn good, and if I'm writing things out, I think better. If I'm writing, I think better. Usually, a lot of my notes were doodles anyway. I'd write capital S for Shakespeare and then doodle, and try to participate in class. But you're right about the books. You had books. A lot of stuff's done off the computer now. A lot of classes, a lot of schools issue students some kind of notepad, electronic notepad, or some kind of iPad.
Yeah, they do.
But everybody's, Ron, everybody's still sitting in desk. Most schools still get there around 8 o'clock, get out around 3 o'clock. A few do something way more civilized, like start at 9 and get out at 4.
Kids still ride the bus.
I think that's way better. Yeah. But something, I don't think they do research papers much anymore. And they don't know their way around a book like they used to. And I don't know. I would, if I went back to school now, I think I wouldn't miss research papers. But if I was going to have to do a research paper, I would rather sit down this is how old I am. I'd rather sit down with a set of encyclopedia and work on a little report rather than get on the internet and knock around like that.
Well, I'll tell you something that I don't know how it is there where you are, but where I am, there's something that I kind of get a kick out of, because it's pretty old school, really. And I've noticed this a lot, and it may just be in more highly populated areas, but it's kind of cool. Especially in areas where so many new houses and apartments and things pop up. Schools tend to pop up right next to all of them. And I have seen more kids walking back and forth to school than I think I ever have in my life. And you talk about something, a throwback. Walking to school? Come on,
Old-fashioned thing.
Because
it's not so much
that live only a couple blocks away, and there's crossing guards, all the way home. They can see them all the way home.
Yeah, it's
kind of cool.
We live in the type town that you
kids
can
riding their bikes and scooters. I mean, it's like the 40s or 50s or something. It's kind of cool. I like that.
So, you used to have shop and home ec. I don't think they have that anymore.
Yeah, they need to have that again.
I know. It's so practical. I always felt like the more practical things that you worked into school, the more the students were going to pay attention and they'd get more out of it. Gosh, when I was in high school, I really would have liked to have taken, even though it was mostly girls taking home ec, I would like to have taken home ec. I still say the best thing I ever took in high school was typing. The best class I ever took. Now it's keyboarding.
Yeah. I mean,
keyboarding.
I'm a great typist.
Yeah.
And that's a lost art. That's as lost as driving a straight shift.
Well, I guess it's I mean, students know their way around a keyboard, but I mean, just from observing younger people on a keyboard, they apparently are left to their own devices to figure out how to manipulate the keyboard. Yeah. So you got people using different. I was doing this for my grandson. He couldn't believe it. He thought I was doing a magic trick. I was looking at him, and I'm looking sideways, and I had a keyboard in front of me, and he could see the screen.
Yeah.
And I was saying things to him, and I was typing down exactly what I was saying to him. And he couldn't believe I was doing it. Touch typing, which they taught you in typing class. So he grabs my head with both hands and shields me like that and say, "Do it again." And I, of course, I could have closed my eyes. And I, I kept talking.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
He couldn't believe it. He'd never seen anybody touch type before, and it's pretty handy.
Yeah.
To this day, to be able to do it. And
I know, and I can type from any position. I mean, I can sit back with my legs crossed, typing. I can be leaning over. It doesn't matter.
Students,
I can type from any position as long as my hands can find the home keys.
Something that I know.
That's a little trick not many people know is the home keys have bumps on them.
The little bumps on them. I showed him that, and he wasn't even aware of it. And he, of course, like all kids, he's on a keyboard all the time. He's, "Oh yeah, look," and it's just one of those little tricks. I always thought pretty good code would just home keys, go up one row, type what you meant to, and then when you translate, you go down to the home keys and type.
I can just tell by the stretch of my finger if I accidentally hit the wrong letter.
Yeah,
I'm like, I missed that one. Tick, and go back.
Do they still do? Well, shop would be great too, although I never took it. Do they still do home ec? I mean, I'm sorry, not home ec, but do they still do have kids do book reports?
No,
they don't do book reports.
No, they don't do any of that stuff. They don't do home ec or anything, shop, anything like that.
Well, I was talking about book reports, though. Do they do book reports? I don't think they necessarily do.
I don't really remember even when my kids were going. And my kids are all, one's middle age and one's approaching, but the other one's approaching middle age, and I don't remember them ever really doing any. Really, even back then, even in the 90s, I don't remember them doing it.
I can understand not doing it for the simple reason that it would be so easy to cheat on it now. Because you can look up a summary of any book anywhere, anytime on any computer or on your phone or anything like that. And it would be pretty impossible to figure out that they were cheating on it unless you asked them. Well, even if you ask them questions.
I think you'd be better off just making them write stories.
Yeah, write their own story or something. Yeah, because even if they were cheating by looking at the summaries, they know the summary, so they would know the characters and a little bit about what happened in the book. So and off the top of your head, if you haven't read the book, you wouldn't be able to do too much with it. Although I will tell you, one of the kind of fun things of being a teacher was catching somebody cheating on a book report. And it used to be a little easier to do back in the old days. Probably can't do it at all now, and I guess that may be why they've gone out the window. But what was that old story? There was some official in one of the White House administrations, that his mother did not know how to read, and she didn't want him to. She had somehow, through being miseducated,
I
never
heard
learned
about
to read.
That now.
Well, and this guy ended up being a doctor, I guess, and she when he was little, she would bring books home that she would just get people to gift. Right now, if you wanted some books, you could just go down the street and ask people, "Hey, if you got an old book or something I can have, I'm just trying to build up my library. I'm trying to learn how to read. My son's trying to learn how to read better." Most people, if they've got books at all, they've got plenty of them, and they'll come out with 5 or 6. But she would do that. She'd ask for books.
Well, the library to go to and still do sometimes, they give away books that are kind of getting a little worn out. They have a shelf up front.
Well,
and you can just take them. I've got some really cool stuff out there myself.
Well, libraries get a lot of books donated to them, and they just don't have room for them, so they just recycle them. They just put them out and give them to, or sell them for $0.25 or something like that. But she would assign her son book reports, and her son didn't know she couldn't read.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "This is due in 5 days," and he would read the book and write up a book report, and she'd pretend to read the book report. And okay, you can go to the park this weekend or whatever the reward was. And I always thought that was pretty brilliant on the mom's part. And of course the son became a great student. Something that used to be a big deal when we were in school all the way through was picture day. You'd come in and get those pictures made.
Yeah.
The school pictures. And then you get
the pictures were always crap, man.
Well, I don't think they still do that, and a lot of schools still do the yearbook, but it's more of just a
Yeah.
tradition. Now,
Yeah.
even little kids have. If you're a little kid, you have access to an old cell phone. Parents can give it to you, and you can take pictures with that cell phone. Now, you can only store it on that phone, but when you got a 5 or 6 year old wants to take pictures, they'll be perfectly happy with that. And I've seen people do that. And just everybody's got thousands of pictures. There's some comedian that says, used to you had like 2 or 3 pictures of grandma, and in the future people are going to go, look, I've got 40,000 pictures of grandma. If you want to look and see what she looks like, here they are. And or I've got them on a website somewhere.
Oh man, the cameras on phones have just destroyed so many businesses. It's like there used to be all kind of people that offered like senior pictures. There's still some people around, but it's like, even my kids were graduating, so I'm like, man, I'm not paying $200 for senior picture. I can take as good a picture, or better. I can get what I want.
Well, certainly you don't have to take a formal picture. I don't think that many people are interested in a formal picture with a tie or some kind of gown. If you are, like you said, you can do it yourself. Yeah. You can take 400 of them till you get one you like in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the one I want. That's
well, I'm going to blow my own horn. I'm a pretty good photographer because I took pictures for years for to use in ads and magazine ads and stuff. So I don't suck. That's for sure. I'm good, and but a lot of people can do it,
Oh, sure, and they do.
No problem.
And so that was actually, it wasn't a big part of school. Obviously, you only took one day for the pictures, and maybe I guess you did I guess the one picture that's taken kind of seriously, if they still do yearbook type stuff, even if they do it online, are the who's who, and I know they still do that. Mr. So-and-so high school, Miss So-and-so high school. And if you win that award, I'm sure you want to still go to get your photograph made with whoever else is the female counterpart or the female and male counterpart.
Absolutely,
Wittiest boy, wittiest girl, most intellectual boy, most intellectual girl.
How many people take part in that,
Nobody votes. That's the thing.
You
win it with 9 votes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can win it with 9 or 10 votes now. Used to, everybody did voting. And everybody kind of cares about it. And maybe their kids sitting around going, gee, I kind of wish I'd campaigned for that.
We went to a small school, so we have no idea,
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. It took 10 votes from
but one of my daughters went to a school that had like 3,000 kids, I think, in the senior class. So, I can't wrap my head around that.
Ron, even then, I don't think too many of the kids vote in that kind of stuff. I think it's just the kids that want to campaign a little bit and they put together some votes. But they do take pictures, and they probably take the pictures seriously. But that's and our local high schools still have yearbooks, but they cost a fortune, and a lot of kids don't get them. And people were mortgaging the house when we were growing up. Yeah, people thought that was.
Who even gets class rings anymore, man? I can't remember the last time I saw a class ring on anybody under 50.
If they want them, you know what though? Athletes now, I think everywhere I've ever been or heard of, if they win a state championship, they get a state championship ring, and they do want those. And they'll do some fundraising, and they'll buy that, those 75 football players a state championship ring. And at our school, and they do this at almost every other school too, individual state champions, like in track and field, get a championship ring too. We didn't get those. They didn't give those out, and that didn't start until
a class ring or anything like that. But I've got a Saints championship replica ring though.
Oh, do you? Where'd you get that?
In fact, I got 2 of them.
How'd you come up with that?
I ordered it online.
Oh, okay, you did.
There's a company that makes them for everybody. And they cost like $40, and they look fantastic. I mean, they look amazing.
But you weren't on the team.
Like I said, it's like, the things are even they feel heavy. They feel
really.
They look amazing.
What are they making? What do they make them out of?
And they're exact duplicates. They're just not real gold and real diamonds, but they are
What?
exact duplicates of the rings, same
So what?
size and weight and everything.
What metal do they use? What do they make them out of?
I don't know exactly what it is, but like I said, mine are really heavy. I mean, they're heavy like they were made out of gold or something. They're heavy,
You have to look it up.
very solid. Yeah.
Do you when you were little, like in elementary school, did you have any kind of reading program, some kind of thing they bought that you had to read and maybe answer questions about
No,
what you read?
we just read in class and stuff. Yeah.
We had this. We
I
had
was
this thing.
in that little private school when I was growing up. You were in public school then, so they
Yeah.
had a little more stuff. We had like weekly reader, and we had some things where we could
Oh,
order like book club type crap. But
I think they still have the weekly. I think they may still have the weekly reader. I think they still do that or something similar to it. Maybe
I
some
don't know.
science book.
I haven't seen one since I was a kid because my kids never read them, so I don't know.
We had this thing. I think I was in second or third grade. I think it was through elementary school, and it was called SRA reading. And I don't know what the SRA stood for, but I remember the brilliant person who designed it. All the reading materials, they were like on cards, and then you had a matching card.
Yeah.
That it was a big card, like a plastic card.
Yeah.
And a laminated card, and you would be, you'd read through them and get credit for them, and the teacher would keep up with it. And then after you read it, they had a little, looked like a bookmarker, and it had like 4 or 5 questions about what you just read. And you tried to add up points, and if you got a certain number of points for getting the questions right, there was some kind of little reward. But all the materials were in these styrofoam boxes, and they were off, on a table on one side of the room. And of course, kids, like 4th grade, 3rd grade, you'd, pick at the styrofoam box, like you'd pull a little edge off the box. Yeah. And I remember one of our teachers just lost her mind because the box was getting picked apart. And I mean, come on, you knew that was going to happen. Now, she probably didn't, but anybody
really, any kind of styrofoam, don't get styrofoam, kids. Come on.
I think they got rid of. They got rid of the program because the styrofoam boxes getting picked apart because they're falling apart after a year or two. And
I'll tell you something I remember real well, and I'm pretty sure you never did anything like this, but like I said, you went to elementary school in a different town and stuff, and I went and we went to the same high school, but we moved there, and you didn't go to elementary school, but it was a small town, unlike what we grew up in, which was a bigger town, and we used to have a time about every once every couple of weeks or something when the weather was nice. We would walk along. This was like in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade. There was a little small local library, and we would all walk along, and everybody either hold hands or hold on to a rope, and we would walk as a class to the library. It was close enough we could walk to the library, and we would go. And I remember looking for books, and the one that I and my best friend in school at that time would look for, there was this character. He was kind of I guess they would call him Timu Davy Crockett, but his name was Dan Frontier, and we loved Dan Frontier books, and there was tons of them. And he and I would always check out Dan Frontier.
Learned all the
because Dan Frontier was cool, man. He had good adventures, and I have really fond memories of going and getting the Dan Frontier books and reading them.
We had a series that a lot of the guys got interested in called We Were There, and it was history books, and it would be like, we were there at the Battle of Britain, we were there at Yorktown, we were there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
they were, I guess, historical
I remember
fiction.
that series. That was still around. Yeah, that was very cool.
I think. We
were there at the Alamo. We were,
Yeah, we were there at the Alamo, And
You know,
I
it's
guess the
funny.
basic.
I remember Walter Cronkite used to do like a series for kids that was We Were There.
You know,
And he would
you're
do it
right.
like he was there at like the Alamo and different stuff. And they had little, yeah. Yep. I remember that. Cool stuff. Oh, and I don't know if they still do this, but oh, I didn't know you were disconnected. Okay, well, Mike should be right back. If not, I'll go ahead and end this thing. But at the moment, I'll just keep on talking. We used to. Oh, okay, you're back.
I'm
I
back.
was
We
fixing to
broke
tell
away.
another story. I was just telling them, you'd be back momentarily, but I would continue
Yes,
on. So.
good. There were you were talking about walking to school and walking to the library. There was,
Yeah.
school used to be there. That's one thing that's huge now. That's a lot more security at school.
Yeah.
We used
Oh,
to be
yeah.
able to leave at lunch. We used to be able to leave at
Uh-huh.
lunch. A lot of, like you said, a lot of kids walk to school. I think I'm pretty sure when I was in the lower grades, first, second grade and stuff, there were a few kids that walked home for lunch.
Yeah.
Elementary
Oh, wow.
kids that walk
Oh,
home
my
to
God. I
lunch
carried a knife every year I was ever in school. I mean, first
what
grade,
now?
man, every boy had a pocket knife in their pocket.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Pocket knives,
And
guns
they got bigger
in
as you
the
went. I
car.
mean, there was some people that had some that whipped one out. It was like freaking Tarzan's knife
Oh yeah,
or
yeah. I
Crocodile
carried a pocket
Dundee,
knife. I
Yeah.
carried a pocket knife at school, and
Hell yeah.
also in high school. And people think you're making it up, but kids would have, guys that hunted would have hunting
Oh,
rifles
they
in
had
the back
2 or 3
window of the truck.
guns in their rack, in their pickup. Absolutely.
Well, you wouldn't see that now anyway, because somebody would
Hmm.
break out the back window and steal your
Yeah.
gun. But
No.
used to, it wasn't that much. People didn't break into
Nobody
cars
thought
that
anything
much.
about it, man.
Didn't think a thing about it. And that, so there are some changes. I mean, on the outside, schools look the same. In a lot of ways, they function the same. But there were things we did mainly connected with personal freedom. I mean, when I was in high school, we would, if we had a study hall or something, we could go somewhere as long as we got back
Yeah.
for the next class. You weren't in any kind of trouble. And now the students pretty much have to stay on the campus. I think we've talked about this before, but
Oh, I
guys
turned
that
to skipping
smoke,
study hall into an art form, man. I mean, I don't think I
yeah,
went from seventh grade on. I never went to
yeah,
study hall. I always figured
go
out some
somewhere
kind of
else.
way of skipping.
Well, they
We would
wanted
go
you.
down,
Yeah.
and I still to this day don't know how we got away with this, but we would go down. Man, 2 or 3 of my friends, we would go down and practice basketball at the gym in off periods, like 2 or 3 periods before actual practice.
No, it was okay. I mean, it was when I was in
We'd be
school.
down there playing one on
You
one
were
and all
fine.
kind of stuff.
They knew who you were.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
hours before practice
yeah.
started.
Well, we had to be in a study. We couldn't skip science class or
Yeah.
anything like that. But did you have a prom or did you have a banquet? Did you have a junior prom, senior prom?
We had junior senior banquet, but we were my class was the first class to ever have prom or banquet away from the school. We
Oh,
were the
okay.
very first
Yeah,
class
because
to ever
ours was
do
in the
that.
gym. Ours was
Yeah.
in the gym.
Well, it was
And
like the
that,
class the year before did something stupid. Like it was kind of a tradition that everybody would get drunk when they were decorating the gym. And one
yeah,
of those
really.
morons spilled like a fifth of Jack Daniels in the middle of the basketball floor and got caught.
Oh,
And
oh.
so the next year, they were like, they were going to have like a breathalyzer at the door and all that stuff. We went, no, we're not doing that. So we were the first class. We organized our prom off campus and had it off campus.
I don't really ever understand why they.
I was the ringleader.
Well, a lot of the schools.
That was actually my idea, and it worked.
A lot of schools called it a banquet, but it was really a prom.
Yeah.
What I don't get is, you had TV and they used the word prom on TV and you saw the word prom everywhere and we knew what a prom was. But for some
It was a
reason, a
dance.
lot
That's
of
all it
schools.
was, Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Why did they insist on calling it a banquet? I guess just kind of hiding the fact
Well,
from
we
the
still had the
kids that maybe
dinner at
weren't supposed to
school,
be.
where we had a big steak dinner.
Yeah,
But then after that, we had instead of having the dance or whatever in the gym, everybody left and went to the country club, which is
yeah.
where we
Well, a
had
lot
it.
of people did that prom too. They'd have some kind of a meal and dance or dance while they were eating. But anyway, we called it a banquet, but it was a prom, and I think they still
Well, what
do
we did
that.
was
I don't think it's
we rented the country club and we found some people to be uh, what do you call it when you have some grown ups there to chaperones. We
chaperone.
found some chaperones that didn't mind looking the other way at drinking.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we did that. We had found about 4 sets of adults for that, and we were good
Y'all
to
are the
go.
ones that ruined it for everybody down the line. That's what happened. But
Oh, they did it like
I
that
got
from then on because ours was so successful that everybody else did it after that.
yeah. Well, there's
I'll have to tell you
I mean
who our people were after the show. You'll love it.
the I just I just think that they still do. I just don't think proms are as big as they used to be. There's so many kids in school
Yeah.
now that just aren't interested in doing things, and I guess don't feel pressured. I think kids now aren't as likely to feel pressured to do things like that if they don't have the money or anything. They just go, I'm just not going, and maybe it's because they can communicate better. They can text, and all the like-minded people that don't want to go,
Yeah.
I'm just not going. Okay, and you kind of can find out if you can kind of gauge the crowd and say, well, I don't want to go. I wonder how many other kids aren't going, and you can just sit down at your phone and
Yeah.
find out. And back
Well,
in the
it's
older
like I
days, it
remember
was
my
harder
kids
to
were in high school.
communicate.
There was a lot of people that went to several proms. I know my daughter
Yeah.
went to 4 proms one year at different
Right, just
schools.
be a date for somebody to another prom. That's true. Prom
Yeah,
season.
I mean,
That's
well,
true.
I'm out here in Dallas, and there's so many. Like there was somebody
Yeah.
asked her they were having their prom at South Fork, where they did shot
Oh
Dallas,
yeah.
South Fork Ranch,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
who wouldn't want to go there,
Right.
And
I would just want to check it out.
and there's all kinds of stuff
It's
like that. And plus, there's so many different stores where you can. I remember she bought like 3 or 4 different dresses and sold them, and she was going because she could find them for
they
like
rent
20 and $40.
Well,
No,
they rent them.
She found them at some people do, but she didn't have to. She bought them and sold them cheap because you could find them
with the
cheap,
internet.
Yeah.
Well, with what?
Yeah. Well,
eBay,
there were
you could
stores
buy
like
prom
that. You could
dress.
walk in and get them.
Yeah. You could order dress
you can find
from
nice
somebody
ones for like $40 and under.
Well,
so
I think we've just about exhausted this topic, Ron. I do have a song of the week, though. Do you have one?
That's a good one, though. I didn't realize how rich it was until we started going.
Paul Simon, Kodachrome. When I think back on all the crap I learned in high school, it's great first line. It came out in 1973, which was my senior year, and went all the way to number
Great
2.
song. I love that.
And listen, I found a review of that, an old review of Kodachrome when it first came out, and the reviewer, I think, was from Rolling Stone, and he called the song. He was talking about the song Kodachrome, and it was from the album There Goes Rhymin' Simon, one of the great album titles of all time. But he said the song was cheerfully antisocial. Cheerfully antisocial. And I thought, wow, that's a great description. And I thought, back on all the crap I learned in high school, it's a wonder I can think it all.
Well,
my lack of education hadn't hurt me.
My song is the Ramones. My song is the Ramones, Rock and Roll High School. Right,
okay.
Rock and Roll High School.
Which has been every high school.
I think that was like 77 or something like that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Where they go to about
the theme song to the movie Rock and Roll High School.
I guess high schools are more rap oriented now, but for a long time they were rock and roll oriented. And what year was that? Rock and Roll High School?
Or Taylor Swift or something. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're listening to now.
Kids nowadays. Ron, I think we've exhausted it. Maybe we'll return to this topic one day soon. talk about it a little more here on Boomer Bongo Boulevard.
All right.